Hi, y'all. My name is Sasha Raquel, and I am officially pitching myself as the Hawkeye girl. And I don't just say this because I saw the trailer and I'm excited about it. I say this as someone who, since 2012, when she first saw The Avengers and she had that first heart to heart chat with herself about who her favorite Avenger was, she landed on Hawkeye, and it has been that way since the beginning. I know he's the least powered Avenger. He's the one with maybe the least interesting origin story, especially in the MCU anyways. He's just a dude with a bow and arrow. But then as the years went along, I was a little bit more justified. He has a family. He's got all these elements. He's kind of like the dad of the group, being there for Pietro and Wanda. And my love for Hawkeye has just continued to grow. And now, not only the fact that Clint Barton himself is getting his own solo project, something I've always wanted, but his sidekick slash the new Hawkeye, the next Hawkeye, is Haley Steinfeld, who I share a birthday with, December 11th. We have the same birthday. Purple is my favorite color. So there's a lot of things that go into this, but specifically Hawkeye, Clint Barton, has been my favorite character. And so now that this trailer is here, I want to break it down and give a little bit more context as to why I love this character so much. I will also be putting really old fan art from 2012 and 2014 respectively on the screen so that I have receipts for this, okay? The thing that I noticed first and foremost when they announced that the show was happening, right? The logo. The Hawkeye font and logo that they have, the title logo, is taken directly from the Matt Fraction My Life as a Weapon Hawkeye series. Also, apologies, someone is jackhammering outside, so I don't even know if this is gonna work. I will do a more in-depth breakdown of both that comic book and series when I finish it, as well as more about this series as more and more comes out, breaking it down. But right now, I really just want to break down the trailer, the Hawkeye trailer, go frame by frame, give you the pieces of knowledge I know right now off the bat, no additional research, just from my love of Hawkeye and this comic series. So go on, let's hop in the trailer. So we open on New York City at Christmas time, which is super interesting because we get to see Hawkeye with his kids. Now, Hawkeye definitely lives somewhere in the Midwest, as we see in Age of Ultron. He's got his family's home, and they're just kind of hiding out there. I think it's great. He gets to do add-ons and remodels of all the stuff, and his kids get to grow up safely. However, I love that the series is not shying away from the fact that is Hawkeye's past, because in the comics, Hawkeye is single, unmarried, does not have children. He's living in a New York apartment complex by himself. And I'm specifically referencing the Hawkeye series, which this title card, the Hawkeye logo, has directly taken from, which is why I think this one is the one that they'll adapt the most. If they're going to pull from any single comic, I feel like it's going to be this comic line by Matt Fraction. And also, can we just talk about how big his kids are now? Pietro was born in Age of Ultron, the end of Age of Ultron, and look at him. I'm sorry, I feel very emotionally attached to these characters. So then we see Rogers the Musical, which I think is the most meta thing that Disney could do, because that is very obviously a reference to Hamilton, because the yellow, the black silhouette, the singular last name, and it being the musical, hysterical. Thank you, Marvel. Way to go. Great job. Amazing. Kudos to you.
I'm making up for some lost time.
So he takes his kids to go see a musical about his buddy, his work friend, and then we get the breaking news that Ronin, someone is using that outfit and moniker. If I remember correctly from the comics, Hawkeye, Clint Barton, when he is spending time as Ronin, Kate Bishop is becoming Hawkeye. She's taken on Hawkeye moniker while Clint has taken on the Ronin moniker. And then she kind of helps pull him out of the Ronin situation. It's not a fully addressed. It's almost like a part of his backstory that's just yep, I was spending some time as Ronin, doing some not great stuff. She held me out of it. And so he is, they're readdressing, okay, he was Ronin.
The past has caught up with me.
And then what I think is really awesome about this shot here with his daughter, with Violet, he has a hearing aid, which Hawkeye has in the comics. The Hawkeye comics by Matt Fraction include a lot of sign language and symbols and things, which is part of its graphic appeal. But I think it's really cool if that will be introduced here.
I promise.
And we have the great new Marvel Studios logo in gray.
A whole lot of enemies.
And then we see Kate Bishop. And Hawkeye helps her.
Who the hell are you?
Some people have actually called me the world's greatest archer.
The world's greatest archer.
Are you one of those people? It's the most wonderful. Hey, babe, I should be back in a day or two.
And then, okay, these people here, the people in the red tracksuits, you just think, well, that's odd. I mean, obviously, these have to be super low-level villains because Hawkeye is not necessarily the most superpowered individual, right? This is the Russian mafia, or the Russian mob, okay? So in the Matt Fraction comics, and the reason I state this is because they all wear red tracksuits. Like, that's a very, very iconic, very specific look that they have. And so these are the Russian mafia guys. The bald guy in the front looks like the leader in the comics. The basic premise of the Matt Fraction comic is that Hawkeye is living in this New York apartment building, not an abandoned one, but one with residents, where the rent keeps going up and up and up. And the reason being is because it's owned by the Russian mafia, and they threaten these people. And so Hawkeye, in his time off as an Avenger, he's living there, but he's also trying to defend his home and protect these other people. So what it looks like is maybe like Kate and Hawkeye are like hanging out in this apartment complex, which is super cool because it's like, okay, he can't just move out of his family home and not live with his family, but like they're still bringing in that element of this like mafia mob situation, which I just think is so, I just love the way that they're doing this. It's going to be so good.
Hang on a second. Things have gotten more complicated.
You get the Russian mafia again. Okay, this, I want to say it's Bishop. I want to say that this is Kate's aunt. Kate comes from a very affluent family in LA, and I can't remember exactly the reason that she leaves them. I believe that this is her aunt. Now, I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm not 100% sure. But this actress, you know, from The Conjuring, I can't think of her name right now. She's fantastic, and I'm really excited to see her in this role. Otherwise, the only other thing I can think is that she's Clint Barton's sister, but I want to say her last name was Bishop, not Barton. And then we see the look of the Steve Rogers musical, and then we see Pizza Dog. Pizza Dog in the comics, his name is Lucky, actually is his name, but Hawkeye, in one of the first issues of this Matt Fraction line, he sees this dog in the middle of the street get hit by a car, and no one wants to take care of it. Like, no one is doing anything. So he brings it into the vet, and the whole time he's in the vet's like, we have to do this to the dog, we have to do this to your dog, and he's like, it's not my dog. He ends up leaving with the dog, and then Lucky becomes Pizza Dog because he really likes pizza. This is Aleko Cox, who is the actress who will be playing Maya Lopez, who is a character known as Echo. She is she's definitely more on like the anti-hero side, and in the comics, her strongest tie is to Daredevil, which again will be interesting to see how that's incorporated, because there's been talks that Echo will be getting her own spin-off series potentially. Like, that is something that is in the works, potentially being discussed at Disney. But Aleko Cox is playing Maya Lopez, who is a deaf Native American superhero who is very much kind of on the same level as like a Hawkeye or a Black Widow. Much more like hand-to-hand combat, much more skilled fighting, but not super powered necessarily. I'm so excited.
This is too dangerous. Definitely not.
And this car is specifically, like, they have a car like this in the comics, which is so cool that they just pulled it straight out of the comics. And also, sorry, last thing, and it seems unimportant, but this falling shot of the two of them. So the Hawkeye Matt Fraction comics open with Hawkeye falling out of a building, and each issue would open with like, this looks bad, or like, I know this looks bad, or something like that. And he's basically, looks like he's being defeated mid-fight, and he kind of just goes into this, like, it's almost like showing the middle of a movie and then cutting back to how it started and then getting back to the middle. That is definitely like the vein in which the comics operate, and it's super funny to me that now they're bringing it into the show in whatever way they can. That, guys, is the knowledge that I have. I will be doing more research later. I will be doing more videos about this. I can promise you that. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to see those or any of my other entertainment, Marvel, whatever content. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I've had a blast making these 2 videos, and it's literally only 10 in the morning. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.